Chapter 23. Soledad was a very good pianist, but at that time the choir of the church was a real disaster. Vladimir was horrified by the bad montages and even worse essays. They were supposed to make music to praise God, giving the best of himself and not the reverse. There were beautiful songs, but the musical work was very badly done. The young man worked 2 or 3 days in the musical arrangements for the montage of the Anthem of the Christ of Bach in the choir of the church, previous agreement with Soledad. It was not 3 days of work in a row, but at intervals, since it was also necessary to earn a livelihood in other activities, and besides, the promotion of the Christ of Bach were stealing time. The truth is that he made a very good arrangement for piano, keyboard, and choir. With great enthusiasm he would also try to mount it in the choir of the church, but his disappointment could not be greater, seeing with how much apathy was barely attempted his interpretation, even though it was explained to them that it was an important event, almost historical, this first putting of the Christ of Bach in a Catholic church in the whole world, and that it was very likely that the international press would cover such a unique, according to the last words of the painter directed from Miami to Aurelio, in a recent telephone conversation. The apathy of the choir and the conflicts between its members, long before the arrival to the church of Vladimir and Aurelio, caused an unpleasant impression. However, they have to try to mount the hymn in the choir, before the near opening or putting of the Christ. It was not many days before Aurelio told to Vladimir that he had met a woman in the church who was very interested in the Christ of Bach, and according to her she had relationships to promote it. The times when Aurelio had took the initiative, which were not many by the way, and luckily, Vladimir was bristling. It was Aurelio, the typical emotional immature who does not use the rational and logical part of his brain, although it was not less true that Maritza, the woman of whom Aurelio was spoken a lot lately, was a very pretty woman capable of clouding the understanding to almost any man, on top of it, seductive. One afternoon they visited her house and Vladimir met her. That same afternoon Aurelio left quickly because he had to solve a problem, and Vladimir stood talking alone with Maritza. It was truly amazing, this encounter, because at that moment both were identified a lot, and Maritza suddenly said, "I have waited a long time for this moment, and I see one day, not very far, sitting with you alone on the edge of a beach." Vladimir listened intently and very surprised. He was a handsome and nice boy, so he was very good at women, even the beautiful. But then, so soon. Maritza had all beauty, a tall brunette, very pretty, with a beautiful emerald eyes, also with a sensual and beautiful body, seductive, mischievous. Anyway, that saying things like these, so close to the boy, was like going crazy, but he dozed and could. At least in that moment. Arrived the moment they said goodbye with great affection and agreed to see each other again soon. Maritza had 3 children and besides, still did not know what she was looking for, because she was married and the husband was waiting, as if intrigued, at the entrance to the house.